I don't care what one thinks about me or what judgments you want to make about what happened in the privacy of my own home, in my marriage, behind closed doors. I don't presume the average person should know those things, and so I don't take it personally. But even somebody who is sure I'm deserving of all this hate and vitriol, even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation. You cannot tell me that you think that this has been fair.
Oh. Thank you so much. No one told me I was going to have to actually come up here. Thank you. I'm really humbled and honored. This is where I started, this is where I'm from, and it means a lot to me to be here tonight. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Courting. Happy Monday. Well, it's Monday. Most of us are back on the grind. It's not necessarily happy, but it is Monday, I suppose, if you're watching the video right now. Anyway, big bombshell interview as Miss AH has decided she wants to go on the pity tour and not just blame the jury, although they've decided finally that maybe that isn't like the best tactic, but to blame social media and say that it's just not fair that social media doesn't like her. Well, I wouldn't know anything about that because everybody on social media loves me. I've never had anyone say anything mean about me. I've never had campaigns to get my channel, removed or any of that kind of stuff. Everyone loves me there. So this is something I can't really relate to, but what I can relate to is needing a new PC, as I just got a new laptop from Meta PCs. Check this out. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Meta PCs. Look, you've been around, you know that I've been talking about Meta PCs for a very long time. In fact, it's the primary computer I use. But it's not just because they're a sponsor. It's for so many more reasons. They have fully customizable, configurable PCs and all the hardest to find parts in stock and ready to go. They also have ready to ship PCs ready for you today. Here's a couple reasons why I like Meta PCs. First and foremost, it's veteran ownership. Meta PCs is a veteran-owned business. One of Meta's owners has served both in Afghanistan and Iraq and received a Purple Heart for his service. Meta also employs military veterans in Meta's Operations Center and also provides systems to veterans going back to school to help them re-enter the workforce all across the United States. They offer financing. It has 100% US-based sales and support. And when you receive your PC, it's ready to go right out of the box. You don't have to get complicated and set things up. You just plug it all in and you're ready to rock. And on top of that, Meta PCs is offering you, my viewer, a huge discount when you use the link in the description or you use promo code TheQuartering. If you use my code at checkout, not only do you save money, but you support my content and a company that will not bow to cancel culture. So maybe you're not ready to pick up a new computer today, but when you are, remember to go to metapcs.com and use promo code TheQuartering to support me and to save money. And everybody wins. Hey, obviously you're not going to impulse buy a computer, especially nowadays, but when you're ready, remember that promo code. They've been super solid to me. They've been solid to a lot of the same YouTubers that you might watch. And obviously it's the computer I use. It's the computer I recommend. Now, Miss AH, I just want to move on. And for JD to move on. Also, this is pre-verdict. Then on national TV this week, you cannot look me in the eye and tell me that that was fair. The narcissist craves attention. The victimology tour continues. Now, what is all this on? Well, it's because there's a brand new interview with Savannah Guthrie over on the Today Show. I would assume she's going to be on many. She's going to do the whole press junket to try, because right now she has to rebuild her image. It has been, I can't imagine it being worse. So she's got very little to lose. So I guess I don't, if I'm her publicist, I'm like, well, the people that already hate you are probably going to still hate you, but maybe there's some people that are like in the middle that maybe you can win over. This is not the tactic I would have used, though. She sat down for an exclusive conversation with today. By the way, what that means is they paid her. They paid her money for this. And where she blames social media, saying things like, even if you think I'm lying, you still couldn't tell me. Look me in the eyes and tell me that you think social media, there's been a fair representation. I don't really want to look her in the eyes. I don't want, and I don't, like, who cares if social media has been fair or not? You know why I don't care if it's been fair or not? Because you inserted yourself into it, right? You could have just got divorced, taken your $7 million, and honestly, you could have also never invested that $7 million, and no one probably really wouldn't have been that big of a deal, a big of a story, but you wrote the op-ed. You demanded the attention from social media. It just completely blew up in your face. A lot of the replies, notice that he hasn't done a single interview. Yeah, because he isn't in this for some self-serving narrative. He got his say, and he went to go be on tour. 700 likes. And by the way, this only 3,300 likes on this tweet, which should be kind of this like late breaking interview. It's about to get ratioed, obviously. It's got 1,500 quote tweets already. But you see a lot of the replies, gaslighting the reporter now, 1,500 likes. The reporter knows the truth. It's not the media's job to inform the population, but to drive them into predictable emotional behavioral responses. Yeah, that's probably true. Remember that AH stole the story of her ex-aide, being a survivor from her ex-aide. Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't tell me, look at this. Yes, I can. 1,500 likes. It was fair, especially when MSM was and still is misleading everyone to be in your favor. Yeah. With the entire full power of mainstream media, people saw through it. And a lot of that was, because of the tapes. The initial, I think that really, really, I won't say poisoned the well because it's true, but those tapes during your divorce proceedings or mediation or whatever, where you admitted not only to raising your hands to him, but like mocked him, that was it for me. At that point, I was like, okay, you are a pretty evil person. You could see some old posts from hers, old posts getting brought up. You could see, let this be a reminder that she is trash and now at bad behavior. Let's see, just heard that there's an ICE checkpoint in Hollywood, a few blocks from where I live. Everyone better give their housekeepers and nannies and landscapers a ride home tonight. Oof. Oof. Thing is, I don't think that's racist because it's probably true. I don't know that they're illegals, but I'm sure that Hollywood stars don't, they're all fine to take advantage of anybody they can. If you look at the actual interview now, exclusive, she says the role of social media in the trial was, quote, not fair. Now, what you're seeing here is what her legal team has decided is her only chance at a retrial. What they're going to, this is all part of a plan. So what they're going to do is try and say that the jury was going home at night and reading social media. The social media that they were reading was not fair and it was unbalanced and it colored their opinions. Now, it would be extraordinarily unlikely for you to be able to prove that unless they were like actively taking part in it. You had like jury members where they were like commenting and liking and sharing like, doctored videos or something like that. But she's now opened up with Savannah Guthrie about the high profile case brought by her ex that concluded earlier this month when a jury unanimously found that she was the evil one. Even in a preview clip from the exclusive interview with NBC News, airing Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, they paid big money for this. In an hour-long special on Friday on Dateline. Jesus! They paid big bucks for this. Big bucks. And she probably needs it. I'd be willing to bet she got somewhere north of $500K for this. I don't know. There are better people who are in the industry that might be able to say, but this is a big cash investment for this. Even somebody who is sure I'm deserving of all the hate and vitriol, even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't tell me, look me in the eyes and tell me that you think social media has been a fair representation. I actually do believe I could do that. I believe it's been absolutely fair. And it's not about, again, the annoying thing is, the funny thing is that none of this would have happened if she didn't try to get famous and at the expense of a man, of another person, I should say. It really doesn't matter who it was. She tried to capitalize on the Me as Well movement to increase her cachet in Hollywood by, not by having like an actual truthful story of survival or anything like that, but by actually defaming him according to a jury. Instead of just like earning it, you know, she's in DC films. She's in some HBO series. Was it The Stand? No, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't watch her. She's not really my cup of tea, so to speak. I prefer my tea from coffeebrandcoffee.com. 6 delicious teas all launched now. By the way, shout out to everyone that supported. I think Thursday and Friday we filled more than 1,000 orders. That was nuts. They had to work through the weekend, I know that. So here's the thing. Jurors in Virginia were ordered not to read or research about the case, but they were not sequestered. On social media, particularly TikTok, people overwhelmingly supported JD throughout the trial. You mean the truth? As of June 3rd, the hashtag Justice for JD has 20 billion views, while Justice for AH has only 80 million. Hashtags like She's Guilty had 900 million viewers on social media at the time. There is no way they couldn't have been influenced by it, and was horrible. And it was horrible. Well, you should have probably pushed for sequestering then. Although, man, 5 weeks of sequestering, no chance. No chance. Like, that would be insane for 2 rich people to argue. That would have been, I don't know, like that would have been a little obscene. But what they're really trying to do is build this narrative now that, you know, so that they can poison the well and say that, you know, the jury's opinions were colored by it. But she also went out and she's like, so she fired at social media users and a jury that largely sided with her ex. Quote, I don't blame them, talking about the jury. I actually understand. He's a beloved character and people feel like they know him. He's a fantastic actor. After suggesting that the jury was not objective, but instead swayed by JD's charm and status, she emphasized that social media was unfair to her too. Even if you don't think she perpetrated the hoax again, even if you do think she perpetrated the hoax. I don't think it really matters what's fair and unfair. What matters is what is true and correct. And that's, I believe, what we saw. The world saw over 6 weeks, you know, what is true and what is the actual facts of the case. And they were on his side. It had nothing to do with who he was. It had to do with the facts and what you could prove. This is sure to be one interesting pity tour that I'm ready and waiting for all of the memes. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.